How we doing, everybody?
Hola,
Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggy with It. I'm Will.
I'm Adri.
And today, what are we doing?
We are doing my top 10 games of 2021.
So the top 10 games that we played during 2021. So this is not, I'll have my own list, but of course, even with my list, this is not the top 10 games that we've ever played. Then again, we've really only played games mostly this year. So I guess it is the top 10 games that we've ever played. Well, no, because we didn't put like Pandemic Legacy. Like I didn't put that on there.
But that was not this game.
No, but I said all time. We have played that, so therefore, you know, that could have made the list because it is a fun game and we liked it.
And Jungle Speed.
And Jungle Speed, we didn't put that on there. Monopoly. No, you didn't play Monopoly. What other games did we play? I thought we played Phase 10 with Mom.
Rollers.
Rollers with Mom and Dad. Yeah. So we played some other games, not many, but I played more than Adri has. So of course I could have a much more in-depth list. But this is Adri's top 10 that we played this year. So of course all these are on the channel if you want to see the gameplay and how they play and what they are. We've got all that gameplay out there. With that said, Adri, what is your number? We gotta do that. We don't have the little fancy, the little transition things. I mean, I guess I could do that after the fact, but considering I did all this, it would be kind of a waste of time. Number 10. So what is your number 10?
My number 10 game of 2021 is Meeple Land.
Meeple Land. There we go. So Meeple Land was a game we played during our theme park week, right? So we played this, we played Fun Fair, and we played Danger Park. And this is in Adri's number 10. This is number 10. So in Meeple Land, it is a tile placement game.
Yes,
right?
Which is something I love.
So Adri likes her tile placement game. It is also a worker placement game.
Yes, which is also something I love.
Something you love. Although it's not worker placement, it's customer placement game.
That's true.
Right. And you're basically trying to build out your park with the different tiles that are available to you in the market. And then you place them on a small patch of land. Then you bring in the customers each round, trying to match the symbols to score points. Whoever has the most customers and the most money wins. So what else was it that you liked about the game when we played it?
Well, first the theme, because I never thought there was a theme about parks. I mean, it was probably not the first one because we played the other two, but it was very nice to see that it is a park. And, well, as we said, the tile placement and building your park, keeping into account that you need to pair the rides with in the correct spot. Next to the bathroom and the food court or the kiosk or whatever. Yeah. So it is something that I really enjoyed. And
the puzzliness, right? Because you got to make the paths. Yes. You got to make sure that the paths don't cross each other, and you got to make sure you can make it in the park, out of the park. So another game, and I think Adri will like it because I watched it on Dice Tower, is we are getting Dinosaur World. So Dinosaur World is by Pandasaurus Games, and same thing, you're building out a park, and your little Jeep has to go around through the park to visit all the attractions, and then as you go through them, it'll make you more money, less money. So I think that might give this one a run for its money.
It sounds good.
Right? So that is number 10. So number 10 is Meeple Land. So we'll put this right over here. And then we'll just stack them up, I guess is what we'll do. We're gonna have a huge stack of games here. All right, and so for number 9.
Number 9, it is Imperial Settlers Empires of the North.
So Imperial Settlers, and this is all the expansions. We played a couple of the different expansions on the channel. So we do have them all. We picked them all up on, I don't remember if it was on sale or I just spent a whole bunch of money. I can't remember which. But in Imperial Settlers, you're basically picking one of many clans, and the expansions add more and more clans to it. This, of course, is it's a worker placement, right? You still got to place your workers out there, and you got to hire more workers. You are harvesting goods, so either food or fish or things like that. They're going to allow you to do certain things. And then you're going to send your little clan members out to conquer islands. And each of those islands are going to give you special abilities and special things that you can bring in. And it's pretty light. Some of the clans can get really, really hard. Like we played the Egyptian clans,
Yeah.
and they were much more difficult. But we had to play them because, well, you know, even though we hadn't played this much, because they were brand new, and you know how YouTube is, got to get the new stuff out. But what did you like about Empires of the North?
That's one of the things that I like of a game, and it is that it has different levels. Because, well, I'm new at this, so I can start from something that is easier, and adding something every time is something that I like. I think, well, the art is very cute.
Yeah, it was.
Sometimes I am like, for example, pirates by itself is not something that would make me, without seeing it, very passionate. But this one is Vikings, right?
Well, different ones. So there's like Vikings.
Yeah.
There's the Japanese, the Egyptian. I forget how many clans
but
there are.
they are very cute, so it makes it I don't know how
more
to
appealing.
say, like, friendlier.
Friendlier, yeah.
And also that you do many things in the game, so you always expect or hope and cross fingers that the opponent does not do what you need to do, and that makes it very exciting.
And it's very unique. Because each faction, each one of the different empires plays very differently. So there's a lot of replayability. There's a lot of different options you can do with this game because, I mean, no two games are really going to be the same unless you happen to play both factions. But even then, it's the draw, the cards is different, the islands are different, everything is different.
Yeah, so you can play many times, and it is going to be like a new game.
Very different. And also the benefit of having the hard factions and the easy factions is it's good for bringing, if you have to bring a new player in, right? Because you could give them the easy faction and you just take the harder faction. Because you're more experienced. So that is Adri's numero 9. Numero 9. That goes on your side because you pulled that one. You've got stuff in your side. People got to be able to see it. It's got to go like back here in the corner. Might have to move the telefono and the rasca, and it goes aquí. All right. So that is welcome to our very first top 10 video. We have no clue what we're doing. We have no B-roll. I was gonna like keep switching down to the bottom of the table, but I'm like, that means we got to set up a whole game, take a whole game down, set up a whole game. Like that'd be hours. If you guys know me, there's a reason we live stream. I'm lazy. But with that said, guys, we're gonna go to numero 8. Number 8.
Number 8 is Shipwrights of the North Sea.
Shipwrights of the North Sea. Adri likes her nautical games. She has gotten Shipwrights of the North Sea. So, of course, we did play the entire North Sea trilogy throughout, all 3 of them. So, I guess if we make our favorite of the North Sea, you've ruined it unless I can somehow talk you out of this one, right? I guess it's got to be which combined our favorite. So, this may not be my favorite. We don't know yet because my list is coming up after this video, and I don't know. They're all going to get uploaded eventually, but mine will be after this one. But yes, in Shipwrights of the North Sea, it is the very first one. It is probably the easiest to get into of the games. So of course you have of the North Sea, you have of the West Kingdom, which we're going to start next year. But in Shipwrights, you're basically doing worker placement. There's not really tableau building on this one though. It's more that worker placement, and then you're trying to build your ships to send out. So you have to hire certain crew members, you have to go out and get particular resources, and then that gives you the ability to build your ships. The first one to build, I can't remember, I think it was 3 ships? I think it's the first one to build 3 ships. I could be wrong, but the first one to build X number of ships basically signals the end of the game. Then like any other game, Euro style game, which this is, you then add up your points. Person with the most points wins. So what are some of the things you liked about Shipwrights?
Well, I like the theme.
The theme?
That is sea, I think I like.
See, the Vikings. I think you're liking the Vikings. Because this is another Viking game.
But the art is also different. I mean, it's not as cute as the previous one, but it is different and more like caricature.
Yeah, and it's the Miko now. And if you guys have watched our channel, we like most of the games that Miko has done. Of course, he does all of the series by Garfield Games. He also did the 5 Realms series, which we did all those games. He's the artist for all of those. He does a game called Claim, which I'm thinking about. It's a 2-player trick-taking game. So we might have to check that out. He does the art for that. Valeria, which we've never checked out, but maybe we will, because art's important.
Yes.
It draws you in. If you get a game that looks very plain, nothing to it, you know, you're probably not gonna be drawn in. I'm going to tell you, I got Catan, and it's not a very exciting box. I don't know how it got so popular, but you guys will find out with us because we will play that on the channel. What else did you like about
Well,
this?
I like the fact that there are different types of ships.
Yeah, ships. Mm-hmm.
And
well, there's different sheep too. You know, there's sheep and there's ships. So you have both.
Okay.
I think there were sheep. Yeah, there's sheep. There's sheep. There's rock, and then there's the Vikings.
Oh right, no, well, ships.
Ships.
I
was making a joke. I guess it wasn't very funny, guys.
No, because I didn't think I said sheep.
Oh.
I thought I said
Ship.
the plural, and
Ships.
I don't. Yeah, I forgot which is the one that doesn't have a plural for a moment. So I like also, I think the whole mechanics, because it does not take too long per turn as well.
Yeah.
So that is something that to me is important. Otherwise, I may get bored.
There's not a lot of analysis paralysis. Because you're just taking your actions.
Which is something that happens to me very often. So in this type of game, it is not like that, at least that much.
Yep. And this, I think, also benefit is I think this was our first worker placement game. I think it was. I think this was maybe our first worker placement game. So, of course, that's always going to play a little bit. You'll be like, that was the first one I remember playing and where I realized I liked worker placement. So that is numero ocho. Numero ocho is Shipwrights of the North Sea. And now we're going to numero siete, or 7 for those of you that are English speaking like me.
Number 7 is
a tiny box.
Little one.
The tiny little box.
Tiny epic pirates.
Tiny epic pirates. So this was our first tiny epic game. In Tiny Epic Pirates, you're a pirate. You have worker placement, or I guess in this case, pirate placement. Around a rondelle, and you are moving around that rondelle to choose which action you can choose. The rondelle is set up randomly at the start of the game, and you're basically trying to go around the map, trying to avoid the Armada. There's some expansions. We did play the expansions as well, which is the Curse of the Adirondack? Umdarak? I can't remember. It's a curse of something. It's a bad ghost ship, and it's coming after you. But we did play those as well. And really, you're just trying to go around. You hire crew, which are going to give you more dice for when you try to battle the other ships. You're trying to deliver goods. So you're trying to go to port and deliver goods. You're trying to take out the trader ships so you can get goods off of them. And then you're also trying to bury your buried treasure. Although I guess if it's not buried, it wouldn't be buried treasure yet. No, you're trying to bury your treasure so it can become buried treasure, and then that, of course, signals end game. And then, well, that's it. I don't think this one didn't have points. It was basically whoever buried it first is the winner. What were some of the things you liked about this one besides it being in a tiny box?
Yeah, besides being a tiny one with a lot of things inside. I think, well, the theme as well. It is pirates, ships, and sea, and I think the components, the fact that you put the little things on the, I don't know, I like that. Like all the...
Tactile.
Yes, I prefer that. Is if I compare that with card games, I'm like 99% over the what is that? The components games?
Yes. Games. Well, yeah, games have components or physical.
Yes, I like to move them to. I love that. Even though this one, I remember it was sometimes hard to take the little boxes out of the ship. I don't know. For me, it was still very nice.
A lot of fun.
And the colors, it is nice to see, to look at, and the mechanics as well, because you do also many things. You have the wheel,
the captain's wheel.
The captain's wheel. And you collect different things as well, or you do
your actions. Set your actions on the rondelle.
I'm placing the meeples there. I think it is.
And there's a lot of, I think, paths to victory with this too. Like, you can win a bunch of different ways depending on your play style. Like, you can, like, I don't think we ever, the prestige, I think is what they called it, we never got all the way up that track, but going up that track gives you more and more benefits. Or you can go after attacking each other, which we really never did much either, because it makes the other person lose. I think it was half their goods or something. And then, you know, you can just try to get as much gold as possible, as quick as possible. And the market is always changing too. Like, as somebody delivers, it changes the market, makes it a little bit different to get into it. And that's saying something, because we played both this and Sea of Legends. Can't tell you whether or not Sea of Legends made it on either of our lists. But of course, this did make it on Adri's list for number, what were we at? Number 7. Number 7 was Tiny Epic. You're gonna have to probably move that at some point, because I think the other boxes are bigger.
I don't know how.
they just keep stacking up.
Okay.
That's how we do it. They just keep stacking up.
Okay.
All right. So number 6.
6.
So
I love
number
it.
6, she loves it.
And it is Santorini.
Santorini. Down here, Santorini. So number 6 is Santorini. So Santorini is a, I don't want to call it an abstract strategy game. I don't know if they got on the back of here what they want to call it. It just says a simple for kids, deep for gamers. I'm calling it an abstract strategy game. Basically, in Santorini, there's multiple ways to play. There's the base mode, where you're just playing your little workers. You're trying to build up these towers, the towers of Santorini, and get to the very top tower without your opponent capping the tower off on you. You have to be able to move and then build on each one of your turns. Then there's a lot of variability with god powers. There's an expansion that adds hero powers. So there's a lot of extra stuff that you can add to this game. So therefore, it's not just like a simple chess game where it's like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing, or tic-tac-toe, or, you know, anything like that, where you're basically making the exact same moves every time you play the game. This one, throw in a different god, the whole game changes.
Yep. And so I love it because well, first it has very tiny miniatures that we painted.
Miniatures.
I painted.
Adri painted the miniatures.
And the building stuff is something really nice, and I think
it's tactile. You're building. You're physically like doing something.
Right, and I think it is. I mean, at the beginning, I thought it was maybe too easy when we played the first time, but it wasn't.
Well, we played with no gods.
Yeah,
we played the simple one.
But at the same time, I like that you really need to think about what the other person is going to do and what you will do without giving them the option to get on top of the building. So,
and then when you add the gods, it really changes it up.
It does. So, I mean, you can have the same one, but if you have a different one every time, it is still going to change the game a lot. And I don't know, it's fun, and I think it's funny. Like, I don't know, I laugh a lot when we play this. And of course, the art. The art is something. The art is really amazing.
Good. Yeah, we love this artist. I mean, again, the first thing, we just started getting games this year. When I had to look at games, that was the first thing I looked at. I looked at what other people were saying, and then I would look at it and say, is that art appealing? Now, of course, a deep, dark game, like a deep, dark dungeon crawler, the art's going to be kind of dark, right? And I'm like, Adri's probably not going to want to get into that as her first set of games. So, of course, I tried to look towards cute items, games that had a little bit more of cuteness to them. And that's also kind of my style. I like anime, I like cartoons, I like things like that. So for me, it's not hard. It's not like, oh, I'm getting this cutesy little art and it's not fun for me. I actually really like the art as well. And now what's going to really give this a run for the money is, you know, I told you what we're getting next year, right? Ragnaroks. So Ragnaroks is by the same team that made Santorini. It wasn't by Roxley and Spin Master this time. But of course, we are going to get Ragnaroks. Same art, similar abstract strategy where you're trying to move around a map and place these rocks to kind of block each other off. And somehow it scores. It's been a while since I haven't played it, but it's been a while since I've seen a video on it. So I don't know the exact rules, but we are going to get Ragnaroks. So we'll see if Ragnaroks can beat Santorini.
Ooh.
And then I don't know what we do with the picture back there. But that is Santorini numero 6. Hey, it's the same size as Neepaland. So that worked out for me. All right. So we are on to numero 5.
Numero 5. Number 5 is Marvel United. So it's Marvel.
It's Marvel. So Marvel is the first fandom that me and Adri, or I introduced. I was going to try to do a Spanish. Introduced Adri to, because I'm doing the Adri, so I'm doing the proper R there, and I'm trying to do the R in English.
It happens to me.
It happens to you. It's Willish. But yes, Marvel was the first thing. When we were first started dating and talking, she was still down in Colombia, and I was still up here. So we would Skype, and we started with the very first Marvel movies. We even started with the Hulk movies, which weren't technically part of it. And so it's been all Marvel. Everybody knows Marvel is my favorite IP. And outside of the movies, like I've been reading comics since I was younger. I love Marvel comics, especially the X-Men comics. So of course, having a Marvel game in the top 10 is probably no surprise.
Yes, obviously.
So in Marvel United, this is it's another one of those games that is simple but can be really complex, right? So This is a very nice, lightweight game. You are basically going around different areas. There are 6 different areas. The villain goes, then you go 3 times between you and whoever else is playing. You get to play cards, which are going to give you actions, which are fight, or you can take a special action, or you'll get a wild, or you get a move. And you're trying to finish whatever objectives, which is saving the civilians, beating up the thugs, or completing the tasks, basically whatever the challenges are that the villain has out there, and then beat up the villain. The base game, and again, all of ours is encompassing everything, including the expansions, right? Because to us, if a base game isn't fun and you add an expansion, great. We're not going to say that the base game isn't fun, although this base game is. This base game was fine. But when you add the expansions that came in the Kickstarter, or there's a couple of them, the Spider-Verse is available at retail. You can actually pick that up on Amazon. We'll probably have a link down below. It adds a lot of complexity. Like when we went up against the Sinister Six, it was a lot more. It took hours, took much more. The Infinity Gauntlet, that was a very long gameplay. It took a long time, but you're going through these scenarios. It's really fun.
So I love it because, well, besides being Marvel, which is something I love because of him and he loves, it is a co-op game.
It's a co-op game.
And, well, we both enjoyed that.
Well, the X-Men added the non-co-op version.
Okay, well, that's nice. That's okay. That's good. But I love this one because it is co-op. And it's chibi. Yes, it's chibi miniatures that we painted as well. This was one of the first ones.
This was the first thing we painted. Mm-hmm.
And so it is very, I think I have lots of love for this
attachment.
Because of that. But the game itself is very nice, and again, it has like from the most simple
just playing a card, taking an action.
I love that because I learned how to play like that. So it has lots of variety as well, depending on the characters that you play with and the villain that you play, and again moving the hero and completing the challenges, the objectives is something that I like of this one, and it was the first one. I don't know if we have more like this, that the action that you take is something that actually I can take. To me,
no, I don't think we have many. I don't know if there's many games that you take the previous person's, what they did allows you to add on to that. That is a pretty unique mechanic in this. If there's other games that are like that, you guys can let us know. But yeah, that's a very unique mechanic, is that basically you have to plan together with whoever you're playing with, and you have to kind of be like, okay, I could really use a way to move. If you can make yourself move and me move, right, but you still can do what you want to do, I'd appreciate that. If you can't, I might draw it, but if you could do that, that would help.
Right. So it is something that even if it is co-op, it is not only like, okay, I do my part and that's it, but there is actually a lot of interaction and planning together.
Yeah. So, and that's a big part too. When you look at games that you're going to enjoy together, we've noticed we like more the co-op than the versus. I mean, sometimes you like the verses. There's a couple verses that you laugh and giggle and have lots of fun when you do something to me to make me like.
Sometimes I feel bad too, so I don't know.
She feels bad for like 3 seconds. But that is her number 5, Marvel United. You're gonna have to lift up your.
No.
Yeah. You just have to lift your Tiny Epic Pirates up. No, they don't have to be in order anymore.
Okay.
Tiny Epic Pirates is too tiny to have other things sit up there. All right. So we have numero 4. So this one's gonna be a little bit of a bigger boy for me to pick up. That's why it's on my side instead of Adri's side.
Because it is Clank, a deck building adventure.
Clank, a deck building adventure. And it does currently have, the reason I say it's heavy, it currently does have 2 of the expeditions in it. So right now there's 2 expeditions, 2 expansions that we need to get. But for Clank is a very, and this is kind of one of those things where Adri was mentioned about components make a difference in the game. Because this is a deck building game. Adri isn't the biggest fan of deck building games, but she loves Clank. Clank is a very easy to get into, very accessible deck building game. Basically, you're sending your adventurer, depending which expansion, we'll just say adventurer, down into whatever place they need to go into. So down into the caves, down into the castle, into the cataclysms, the sea when you go up under the sea to find treasure. And that's what you're doing. You're going through trying to find treasure, all the while buying cards, selling cards, getting rid of cards to make your actions better, because you're going to run into bad guys that you'll need to defeat. That way you can get gold. That way you can buy more things, buy a relic, buy a backpack so you can have more relics, things like that. And then you're also doing that. It's kind of a push your luck game too. And I've noticed you kind of like to push your luck. We did hamster versus hippos. Yeah. And she likes to see how far she can do it. And she's like, right? And this is a push your luck game. It's how far into the dungeons or into the depths can you get to collect what you want to collect, to think that, okay, I've got enough points. I've got 2 hit points left. Can I make it out before another Clank occurs and that dragon gets woken up, right? So very exciting, very, very, I don't want to say it's fast paced. I mean, this game could be quick or it could be long, depending on the decisions you make. I mean, because technically somebody could go down to the bottom, get 1 relic, come right back up, and 4 rounds later, end of game. And everybody else is still stuck down in the depths because they wanted to try to get more stuff. To get
more things, yes. So, I mean, when I saw this, I thought I was not going to like it, to be honest, because of what I already said. But I loved it from the beginning, from the first time we played, and I like that is building game, which in this one I like that part as well. I think the cards are not complicated at all.
No, they're very simple. They don't have like paragraphs.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, they don't.
No, it's usually 1-2 sentences.
Yeah, exactly. So they are very simple to understand, and it's not complicated. It's exciting when you want to flip and feel the market, and then you get the dragon. So like that makes me sweat, like for real. and then moving getting the pieces and all this, and that part that you can actually try to do as much as you think you can is nice. And even though it can turn lengthy, I don't care, because I really enjoy every single stage or step or every moment that we play.
Yeah, and it's very different. Like, there's a lot of variability in the way the game plays, just from the deck, from the different expansions that they've had. All of it adds like these little things. Expansions add probably, of course, the most variability, because you get these extra things that you get to do. Like, there's an elevator in one of them.
Those details
there's the little gears.
Yeah, those details on the board are also something nice. Like you pay attention to when you're moving, and yeah, some are decorations, some are like actually something that you need to pay attention to. So I mean, I love Clank.
He loves Clank. And of course, we will probably get Clank in space, so we'll try that. It's just a different theme, and that's probably one of the things, right? It's maybe this theme doesn't do it for you. Maybe Clank and then the adventuring party and the warriors and all doesn't do it for you. There is Clank in space. There's also a legacy version of this. So Clank Legacy, where you go through and you build your adventurer by building your deck. And I think, I've not looked into it, but I think your deck that you build carries over as you go through the different scenarios. We don't know. I could be wrong. There's also mini tortoise, so you can get miniatures for it. I don't know. I like the wooden bits. Like, I don't know why. I feel like this with the little wooden bits, I like it because I like variety. And every single expansion comes with different little wooden meeples to fit the theme, and I think that's kind of cool. I like the miniatures, but now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know if I want the miniatures because I like the wooden components.
Yes, I think that this game is like the theme and the art also makes it very, what is it, like a good fit for wooden.
The whole thematic, the whole theme, everything about the game fits very well with the components they put in there. Mm-hmm. It's very similar to a couple other games. We're getting miniatures for it. But we played like in the Hall of the Mountain King, right? We got that, and it doesn't have miniatures. It's got little wooden components. But we went ahead and got the deluxeified stuff from Kickstarter when Fall of the Mountain King came out. And I'm wondering, am I going to like it as much with the plastic components or not, right? Or am I going to be like, oh, let's just keep playing with the wood components because it fits so well. Yeah. All right, so that was number 4. I think Clank is the biggest. Oh no, it kind of fits. It kind of fits. We'll just kind of feel like that's the way it's off to the side. I can't even get to my agua anymore. All right, we're getting down. All right, so now we are down to Adri's top 3. Top 3.
So number 3
is a new one. Is a new game. I always have to look because yes, they're half of them have been backwards. That's why I had to verify the front. We have something covering up our screen so we can't see. We've got her list covering up the screen so I can't tell. It looks good in the camera. Actually, we can't tell if any of this has looked good in the camera this entire time.
No.
This whole time we could have filmed this whole thing. Look at myself. But this is a brand new game that we just got, which is Land versus Sea. And as soon as Adri played it, she immediately said, "This is probably my favorite game." Now, of course, in the end, it is one of her favorite games.
I mean, it is on my, I thought Santorini was going to be on my top 3.
On the top 3, and that's shocking. That was actually one of the biggest kind of shocks. Now we did use the Meeple, I forget what it's called, Pub Meeple app to do this, and in some cases it didn't put certain games up against each other. I think in mine, I noticed, for example, Disney Villainous and Marvel Villainous. It never put those two up against each other, and it rated one higher than the other. And in my opinion, I don't rate that one as high. So because those two didn't go against each other, it didn't have the chance to, I can't remember. I mean, it was 250 questions just with 68 games, 250. Yeah, it was a lot. But we're getting sidetracked. In Land versus Sea, it is a 2, 3, or 4 player game. I don't know how well it would work at 3 or 4. 4, you're working at teams. 3 might be fun. Becomes an asymmetric game. But 2 players is a head-to-head game. One of you is land, one of you is sea. You're laying your tiles out to try to encapsulate either a body of water or a body of land. By doing so, you score points by the number of tiles it took to basically make that area. Each tile is double-sided, so you have variability there. You can see, your opponent knows one side, but they don't know the other side. There's also powers. There is a take that power where you can take a tile from your opponent. There is also a repeat tile where if you play that tile, you can play another tile. So there's a lot going on there. Very fun, very abstract game.
Yeah, the making is coral like joining.
Oh, for the extras.
Oh, that's the extras. Yes, or what is it, coral? Or
it was the coral. The coral? There were 2 extras. It was the coral where for a chain of coral, when you combine coral, you get points for each coral. And if you add another coral, it keeps adding on. So say there was 1 coral, you added a second, now you get 2 points. You add a third, now you get 3 points. And this is as soon as that is formed. So it's not like, oh, at the end of the game you count. No. So if your opponent doesn't stop you from either making the coral or the mountains, that just, you can just run away. The other part is the caravan, which is the boats and the little wagons, the caravan, right? And you get those in order, and same thing, you get points for connecting those, and each time you make that longer, you get more points. But also you're leaving that open for your opponent to get points, and whoever has the most in a caravan gets to score those points at the end. So lots of variability with those extra expansions. And then the same thing is with the, I shouldn't say expansions because they're in the box, with those extra modes. And then with the 3-player, you get to add an extra person in. We've not played the 3-player that also can then just throw all of that completely out the window for you.
So I love it because it is like a puzzle. So, well, forming, making the closing, what do you say? Enclosing the sea, the body of sea, the body of water, or the body of land. It has nice arch as well. It is very tiny but very
These
pretty.
little bunny rabbits.
There are rabbits. There's one that has that
He's
has
blowing
blood.
Oh, that's the cannibalistic rabbit. He's in there.
Cannibalistic rabbit.
Cannibal bunny. Or no, he was eating berries. He was eating strawberries.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what you thought. Okay.
And
it's puzzle game. So kind of like we said with which one was it? The Meeple Land, right? Building out that puzzle.
Yes.
Is very fun. And then the same thing is that abstract strategy, right? And it seems you can kind of tell Adri's themes. She likes the tile placement stuff. She likes the abstract strategies and the puzzles, and she likes worker placement, right?
Yeah. But something that I like a lot, which is different from another similar game, is that the tiles are
double-sided. Yeah.
Double-sided. So you have actually a lot of chances to find the one that you need to complete your section.
Yeah.
The section that you need to complete to prevent the opponent to continue growing their area. So I think that is something very, very nice. And the fact that you can steal is fun.
She doesn't like.
I don't like.
You don't like take that. You don't like fighting me. But she likes take that. And she likes fighting me.
But yeah, that is true. But
yeah. So I guess in comparison, we also played Explorers of the North Sea, and that's what you're talking about the double-sided tile. Is when we played Explorers of the North Sea, there's a lot of times you're like, there's nothing I can do with this. I just gonna put it somewhere.
It didn't happen that we actually had to reshuffle to go again. It didn't happen, but it was a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, so you don't get that extra options that the double-sided tile does.
It is fast as well. It is a quick game, but quick enough to enjoy. And actually, I could play it many times in a row as well.
Yeah, and that's one thing. We don't play a lot of times games multiple times in a row unless they're short and quick. But this is also a good opener game, right? You bring this one out. You play with 2 people, or you play with 4 people, right, in a teams, and you knock this out in about 20-30 minutes, and then you can get into something a little bit heavier, something that takes an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to play. So that is number 3, land versus sea. That goes over to your side. Oh, there you go. You can put the pirates on top of the land versus sea.
It's gonna look like if we had smaller ones, like a tree.
Like a Christmas tree? We need lights.
We could do that.
I saw that. I saw on Instagram or Facebook or something, somebody put a bunch of them and they just kind of put lights up the side of it to make it look like a tree.
They stole my idea.
They took your idea. All right. So number 2. Number 2 is on my side.
Number 2. Oh my god. Number 2 is Everdell.
So this is Everdell
I'm in love with it.
Now, this is Everdell. This is the base game. We, of course, got this when the Kickstarter was going on because they did the complete collection. So where we say we like the game and all of its expansions, we don't know for this one because we don't have any expansions yet until we get our collector's edition. So this is Everdell. Everdell is a tableau building game where you're trying to go out and get resources for your little animal critters so you can build the biggest and best village available. There is a common pool of cards as well as a blind draw of cards. It is worker placement, or I guess in this one it's animal worker placement. that you're playing over the course of 4 seasons. You start with, I think, 2 workers or 3 workers.
3, I think.
And then each season, you'll sometimes get workers. Sometimes you'll get to draw cards from the common pool, which is called the meadow. It's resource management. You're trying to get those resources so you can build the items you want to build. There are ways to be able to build things for free. For example, you can actually play some of the cards for free if you meet certain conditions. There's comboing, right, where you can take one card and another card and basically be able to say, okay, if you have this card and this card, you get these extra points at the end of the game.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It has the 3D tree is very nice. The whole thing, are the meeples, are the animals, and they are super cute. The components look very pretty. Even the berries are like rubber.
Yeah, those squishy berries.
Yeah, they are squishy.
They have a very good mouthfeel, as Quackalope would say.
And you do a lot of things. I thought this was going to be, because this was one of the first. Well,
it was one of the worst. It was one of the first worker placements we did. Maybe this was the first. Maybe it wasn't Shipwrights. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna go back and look at our order of gameplays now.
So I thought it was very complex. I would not say it is easy.
No.
It has a lot of things to do and pay attention to, but it is fun, and at the end it's not that difficult. So because it has the cards, and then they're going to get the what you need in order to build or do what you need to do, and then pairing. So it is a lot of things that you have to pay attention to, but I like it, and I like that the seasons make it not to be too long.
Yeah.
Like you reset every so often so you can start again. And
the other nice thing is with the seasons is this is usually a rule most people miss, and I think our first gameplay we missed this. I don't remember about the second. I forget when I learned that we missed that, but you can advance to the next season before the other people do. So that's one thing normally in most games, everybody else is waiting. So if somebody else, say that you're playing a 4-player, 5-player game and one person passes, the next person goes, so 3 or 4 of the people are still going. That first person who passed is kind of like, can't do anything. So that's real nice. That's a neat thing with this one is with the seasons, each person can progress to the next season when they want to.
Yeah, yes. I don't know. It's very pretty. It's animals. The art is very nice too.
Yeah, it's a really well done game. Most people that have played this have rated it and liked it very much. 2020. So I guess we got a newer edition of Everdell. But of course, we will be getting the full collector's edition, which has all the expansions. So of course, we will be playing all those on the channel, and maybe we'll do our favorite Everdell expansion video next year. Maybe we'll do that. All right, so that is number 2. This is Everdell. And so now we are up to the finale game, the last game on the list, the numero uno game para Adri. It's kind of heavy, isn't it? There we go. Is that the right way? Yes, that is the right way, because it's not the right way on the back.
The Isle of Cats.
So the Isle of Cats is another tile placement game.
Yeah.
It's a polyomino game. So in Isle of Cats, you're basically going out to an island to rescue cats before the big bad comes and get it. I forget what the big bad's name. These are mystical cats, so they look kind of cool and cute and stuff. And what you're doing is you're going and getting polyomino tiles, and you're placing them on your boat. You may have there's multiple modes, right? There's a family mode, there's a regular mode. And depending on the mode, you're either going to go out and capture the cats, or you're just going to take the cats. It really depends on the mode. We've got both gameplay videos up if you want to see the difference. And I think that's one thing that's nice about this is it has that family mode.
Yeah.
Not many games have this nice mode that could have been the game all in itself, but then have this other mode that is the real game that works just as well.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But you're trying to get the polyomino tiles out. You're trying to fill up your boat. Each area that you fill up, you're going to be able to score points off of. Each area you don't fill up, you may lose points. But then there's also these objective cards that you're trying to do. It might say, make sure you have a string of cats along the edge of the boat. It might say, make sure you have 9 orange cats.
Or make sure you don't cover the rats, for example. That's the one I remember. It was kind of hard.
Yeah, for each rat that you cover, I think it... Well, no, you get more points for having them uncovered.
I think they both exist. Like the one you need to cover all the rats, and the one that it gives you points if you don't cover the rats.
Yeah.
So,
which basically what it means is you don't lose points.
Well, yeah, because
it gives you 2. Yeah, it gives you 2 points for not covering
yeah.
them, but you still lose 1 for not covering it. So it really just gives you 1 point. But yeah, lots of variability, lots of variety with that. They did, of course, have same thing. We got this for the Kickstarter. Because, well, you know, we're a new channel. We couldn't get the actual Kickstarter games to play yet. So we went ahead and got this during the Kickstarter. We really liked it. And then, of course, we backed the kittens. Don't forget I think it's Beasts and Kittens. So we did back that, so we'll bring that, of course, to the channel. What else?
I love it because, I mean, the theme is cats. The colors...
Very vibrant colors.
I like that this one, the turns don't take too long either. Like
No.
You grab your cat. Well, you can plan, right? You can see if it fits, if it does what you need and it goes where you want. But I think it does not take too long to do that. And there are different ways to get points. I don't know. I love like the Tetris.
The Tetris act, the polyomino aspect of it. Yeah, trying to make them fit and figure out. And again, puzzle. So again, you guys can kind of see it's piling, abstract puzzles, things that Adri likes. The little cat meeples.
The meeples, they are so cute.
These are cute meeples. Right.
Now
we do need to play. Now we will have to admit, we played most of these games. We played more than once. I mean, again, we don't play a lot. We do play some, but we've only played the regular mode once, I think, or twice.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, but I think we played the other mode, the family-friendly mode. We played that one a couple times. So that could change the weighting a little bit. I don't think it would change it too much because honestly, if you don't like that mode, you just don't play that mode.
Yeah.
But that was the mode where you had to get the baskets, and then that's how you had to actually capture them. Yes. So it was a little bit different. You also had the objective cards you kept having to pass back and forth. So where we were talking about it being kind of quick, the family mode is very quick, right? Because you're just getting the cat, placing the cat, and it's only got so many rounds.
But I think it is also that while it's somebody else's turn, you're planning. So you have already, or you are at least, I don't know, praying for the time that you need,
hoping that your tile doesn't get taken by your opponent.
So, and you can also like kind of guess what is the objective that the other person is trying to achieve. Or what are the cats that this person is trying to get? What color?
Yeah, what do they need? Because that's a big one, right? You start noticing. Wait a minute, that's their 3rd purple that they picked up. That's their 4th purple in a row they picked up. So
that makes it like even if the turn is longer, you're busy thinking still.
Yep. So that was
Adri's
#1 game that we played this year in 2021, which is Isle of Cats. If you want to see my top 10 video, then of course make sure you hit that bell button. No, they need to hit the subscribe button, then the bell button to get notified when my video goes up. Leave us a comment down below. Have you played any of these games? Are any of these games in your top 10 games? Are you looking forward to maybe getting one and playing one? But of course, leave that down in the comments. But until next time, guys.
Adios.
Peace.